So this tutorial is going to cover how to conduct a one-way between subjects ANOVA in SPSS. You should have already checked your data to confirm that it does not violate any of the assumptions of an ANOVA. I have already created a video looking at these ANOVA assumptions. So if you haven't done this already, I'd recommend watching that video before you proceed with actually conducting the ANOVA. It is really important that you spend a little bit of time before doing the analysis, checking the assumptions to make sure that your results are correct in the end. So what is a one-way ANOVA? One-way between subjects ANOVA is used to determine if there's a statistically significant difference between the mean of two or more independent groups. So that's two or more independent groups. It's most common for three or more groups, which is what I'm using in the example here today. So let me get my data up and we'll have a look at that. So here you can see I've got my SPSS data file. I have my dependent variable here, which is the total score on a test of well-being, and then my independent variable or factor, as it's known in an ANOVA, is here. You'll see that I have three groups or levels. They are psychology, maths, and history students. So they're labelled 1, 2, and 3. So what I want to know is, does the subject a student studies have an effect on the wellbeing score from this test? To find this out, I can conduct a between subjects ANOVA. To do this is quite straightforward. I click on Analyse, Compare Means, which is this fourth one down, and then a one-way ANOVA. The dependent variable, which is our wellbeing score, goes into the dependent list, and the subject studied, the independent variable, goes into the factor box. It's important to remember that in an ANOVA you have factors, and within factors are the levels. So in this case I have one factor, which is the subject studied, and as I said, three levels: psychology, history and maths. So we've put our variables into the correct boxes. Now we just need to make a few changes in the options that we've got here. So first of all, if we click on post hoc, and we can select the Bonferroni post hoc test. Click continue. And then if we click on options, here we have the option to display our descriptive statistics, which is always useful because if you do have any differences between your groups, it's useful to know what those differences specifically are. So if you click descriptives and also click on homogeneity of variance test, this will run the Levine's test for equal variances alongside your ANOVA, which is really handy to have the two together. If you're not sure what I mean by the Levine's test for equal variances or homogeneity of variance, go back to the assumptions of the ANOVA video that I've done. So we click continue and then OK. So here I have our outputs. These should look relatively familiar. The first one is our descriptives table here. So you'll see that we've got the mean wellbeing scores, the total wellbeing scores, broken down into each subject. So for psychology students, the mean wellbeing score was 40.58. For maths, it was 45.88. And for the history students, it was 44.25. We've then got the standard deviation and our confidence intervals there as well. The next table we've got is this Levine's test of equal variances that I talked about. This test for one of the assumptions that we need to meet to conduct an ANOVA, homogeneity of variances. Basically, this assesses whether the variance, which is the distribution of the scores around the mean for each group, is equal. If this result's significant, then the assumption's been violated and we cannot assume equal variances. Therefore, we should not at this stage proceed with an ANOVA. If this is not significant, then we can assume equal variances and it's fine to go ahead with the ANOVA. So if we look at this table here, we've got our Levine's test statistic and the significance level here. This is not significant, it's 0.971, so that's absolutely fine. We can assume that the variances are equal and we can go ahead with the ANOVA. The next table we've got, the next output table here, is the Anova results table. This tells us whether there is a statistically significant difference between our group means. As you can see here, the significance level in this final column is 0.059, which is greater than 0.05 and is therefore not significant. This tells us that actually with our data, there's no statistically significant difference in the mean score, the mean well-being score of the students studying these three different subjects. Had this difference have been significant, we would then look at the next table, which is the multiple comparisons table, which reports the results of the Bonferroni correction post hoc test. And within this, we can look at specifically where the significant differences lie, focusing on the p-values here. But because in this case there were no significant difference reported here in the Anova, we don't need to look at this table. So you can ignore that. So in this case, it's just these three tables that are interesting. Now let's look quickly at how to write this up in APA style for reporting. It's always key when writing up the results of analysis to mention the type of test conducted, the variables or the mean scores and standard deviations, and the outcome of the test that you've conducted, the analysis, with the correct test statistics. You will see a simple format here. I tend to use kind of generally the same format to report the results. It's not uncommon also to report confidence intervals and effect sizes, so just check the APA guide for where to include these and how to do this correctly if this is a requirement for you. But this is kind of the very basics of reporting results. So you'll see here, I've got the one way between subjects Anova, so I've told you which test I've conducted, was conducted on the wellbeing score of students from three different academic subjects, psychology, maths and history. So I've told you the variables there. The results indicate that the subject studied had no significant effect on student wellbeing scores. So that's the end outcome of our analysis. There was no significant effect on wellbeing scores of students. Then here I've got my test statistics. So I'll show you quickly where those have come from. Maybe put them up side by side. So I'll show you quickly where those have come from. Put them up side by side to make it a little bit easier for you to see them. So we've got our F value here, which is 2.953, which has come from here. So our F value on the Anova table, 2.953. In the brackets here, I've got the degrees of freedom, which is here. So we've got our degrees of freedom are reported here. So we've got 2,70. And then the p-value, which has come from here, the significance, 0.059. So that's our p-value. So that's how we report the Anova sort of on the very basic level. Obviously check your university APA guide for how to do this according to your course requirements. It may change ever so slightly.